is he a Brahma?
He is a Brahma, yeah. He's I wasn't...
Like a dark Brahma?
He's just called a blue Brahma, yeah. He's a blue Brahma. So when I ordered all these eggs, except for the Pavlovskias, which are like my rooster that keeps growing, and you can kind of tell which ones they are because they've got the crazy hair. So I ordered the Brahma eggs because I don't have a male. And so the Brahmas, I'm after lemon pile Brahmas. And so the one straight ahead at the back there, she's really blonde. She's my only lemon I got out of 18 eggs. Mm-hmm. So the one that just hopped up there, she is, she's called a blue buff. You can kind of tell she's got gray on her neck. I have 3 blue buffs, 1 lemon and 1 blue. So now I will also be breeding blue Brahmas because I just love him so much. So, and then I also have the Faverol chicks. So I hatched them and I ended up getting 2 males and 4 females, which was exactly what I said would make my world complete. And it's exactly what I got. So I just couldn't be happier. They are just so sweet. That's a Faverol right there. So those 3 are Faverols. Well, the one with the berry. She doesn't know what to do with herself. So these guys have never had yogurt and berries.
And what type of feed do they eat?
So these guys actually are just transitioning. When you have baby chicks, they just eat starter, chick starter it's called. And then you move up, they do that for 6 to 8 weeks, depending on the breeds and the size of the chicks. So because these guys are mostly heavy breeds, all except really the Pavlovskias, they can all be on it for 6 to 8 weeks. When you have a bantam breed, they would only really need to be on it for 6 weeks tops. Then you transition to, excuse me, a grower finisher it's called. So that is what they're on. I just started them on that officially, completely about a week ago. So they'll be on that for about another 5 or 6 weeks. And then for sure about another 6 weeks actually. And then they'll be on the layer diet. The Brahmas will be on the grower for probably about 8 weeks until they're at least 17 weeks for sure. Maybe even a little bit longer. I might hold off and do them a little bit longer on the grower because they're so much bigger. It takes them so much longer to develop. So I kind of feel it out and see what they're needing. If I happen to get an egg, then obviously they need to be on the layer diet. My cat's just come around the corner. I don't know if you heard that trill that they made, but that's an alert that this chicken was alerting. Yeah, exactly. So he's just sitting over here and she was like, there's a dangerous thing. So it's funny how they do all let everybody know. Clearly they're not worried. Clearly they know they're okay in this situation. So, but it is funny the different sounds that they can make. This is just a temporary coop for now because my habit got out of control. We had to have somewhere to put them for the interim till they can be introduced into the coop because it takes time. You can't just plunk these babies in with all the other chickens, right? Like it takes time to introduce them. So probably in the next 4 weeks or so, well, probably in the next couple of weeks, I'll put them in where Vlad and his ladies are, and I'll put Vlad back in with the Brahmas and the Faverols. You have to play musical coops when you start introducing everybody. And then they'll still be separate, but they'll get to see each other. So they'll get used to each other's smells and each other's habits and the flightiness of everybody. And then it won't be so scary to everybody when they move in all together. Plus the roosters can kind of feel each other out and know Okay, you've already got some territory. I know what's going on in your life. And then a lot of people will introduce the coops in the nighttime. They just put them into roost, put them up on the roosts when it's dark, and then in the morning, everybody's like, oh, hey, you're my new family, and it works out really well. I prefer to do it in the day and let them out to play, where they have lots of room to run away and lots of room to work it out, because my chicks and my chickens are super friendly and super comfortable with me, and they come when they're called. And so for me, that's how I choose to do it. But you have to do what works in your home.
So then, even though they're not like physically together, they're separated, they can still establish.
That's right. They're still a family. Yeah.
Without actually pecking.
Right. Exactly. And I'll do that when I introduce a new bird to the coop too. I'll put them somewhere like a place like this where they're far away enough that they can't, if they have lice or mites or a disease, they're far enough away from my birds that they're not going to contaminate anybody. And then once they've been here for 3 weeks or a month, then they can go into my coop that's beside my main coop. And then I'll even, if I'm worried about, because sometimes when you're introducing just one, right now it's not a problem because I'm introducing more chickens than what's in my established coop. So it's a lot easier because technically not any one chicken should get singled out, because these guys have already established their pecking order and their family. And I have 7 birds over there, and they're quite a bit bigger, so they will be fine. So it should be fine. That being said, you never know what can happen, which is why I like to be around. When you're introducing a couple of chickens to an established flock, I'll put them beside each other for a week or see how it goes. And then I'll put them inside the main coop, inside like a big dog kennel that I have. And then they're right in the coop, in the mix of the family, and then I'll let them out. So it all depends on what's going on in the coop, actually. Mm-hmm. I am sending these chicks that are over here with my sister and her family to Lloydminster on Monday, to a very patient, loving family that have they've requested to have chicks sent to them since probably February, since I first started hatching. And they're Vlad and his ladies' chicks. I did ship eggs. The thing is you ship eggs Canada Post. And God love them, Canada Post does the very best they can, I'm sure. But there's just so many variables, whether it's the weather or how many hands they have to go through. It can be so unreliable. So he, in this instance, I sent 11 eggs and 1 hatched.
Oh.
So, that's kind of what you end up.
Yeah.
That's what happens, right?
And it's expensive. It could be like
Yeah.
$50 plus,
Yeah.
just to send, plus
Yeah,
the
plus
price of
the
egg.
eggs, exactly. So he ended up, and what do you do with 1 chick? That's the thing. It's different. When I ordered my chicks, like my eggs that I got from Quebec with Vlad and my Faverolles, now I only have 6 chickens left from all of the eggs that I ordered. I ordered 62 eggs. Cost me like $600.
Wow.
And I think I only hatched, out of the 62 eggs, I think I hatched 17 eggs. Mm-hmm. So, right? It's just
not guaranteed.
Absolutely not. There's nothing you can really do about it. Whether the air sac detaches, they freeze, they get too hot, they get dumped upside down, things get shaken. Yeah. Everything has to be perfect in that egg for it to hatch. So there's not much you can do about it. So I'm going to send eggs also with my sister. So she'll drive and keep them nice and still, and hopefully he'll have a better success rate. So what he did end up doing with this single chick is he had a broody hen. So what that means is there's a hen who thinks she's going to be a mom, and she's completely stopped laying eggs, and she just sits in the nest all day long. And it's an empty nest, mostly because she won't let anybody in, for one, so no one else can lay eggs. And most people don't appreciate a broody hen. But he did in this instance. So he ended up putting this chick underneath her, and she was like, oh my goodness, what's going on? And she loves it. So she's protecting it, and she's feeding it and teaching what to do with it, and it just follows her around like it's like she's her mom.
That makes me wonder, like, because the period of hen being broody is
Right.
about 21 days.
It depends. I had the orange hen that's in with Vlad. Her name is Stella. She went broody on me. Well, she's gone broody twice now. It's been about a month since she's been broody. And you can break them of their broodiness. You can do all kinds of cruel things to them. I was putting bags of frozen French fries under her because their body temperature rises.
Yeah.
It's kind of like when you when you get pregnant, right? A woman changes. Everything changes about her chemistry. So, and it's really not that different with hens, except it's a fake pregnancy. She's not and they stop laying eggs, but everything else changes, right? She gets super protective, and all these things. Are you coming? All these things change in their chemistry. So she would get real territorial. I would come in there, and she would just yell at me and make all these scary noises and fluff up. And
So do you think, like, by inserting a chick under a
Right.
broody hen, would you break the broodiness?
No. Oh, you know what? I don't think so. I think she just, because she's already got her chicks, she then will not lay again until the chicks are old enough. You know what? I don't know. I don't know when she would start laying again.
I'm wondering if you could, like, use the incubator, and if you happen to have at the same time a broody hen, just get the
People
chicks
do.
and
Yeah.
insert
People
them there
do
and-
for sure do that. Yeah, and there's lots of breeds that are specifically good for that. Like silkies are really good for broodiness. Cochins are really good for that. And they'll take everybody's eggs. Like they hatch ducks, they'll hatch ducks and chickens and everything. Like they'll sit for a long time, and they have different incubation rates. Like ducks, I think, are 28 days. I could be off by a day or two. And chickens are 21 days. But they'll set on those eggs with their arms or their wings way out, and they'll just wait until they're all hatched, or until it's time, right? And they keep turning them and waiting, and yeah, it's quite amazing.
Yeah.
Just get it out of here. So, okay, so here's one of my farm fresh eggs. And you can see because there's poop on it. I haven't washed it. Hopefully you'll see inside how to tell if it is a fertile egg, like if it's been fertilized, if I could put it in my incubator and make a chicken out of it. Right now, I could wash this, put it in my fridge, and it would be just like an egg that you could get at Safeway. There's nothing gross in it. There's nothing weird about it. This is what I eat every day. It's a normal egg. There's nothing creepy about it until I show you that it's fertilized, and then you're going to be weirded out because it's like a fertilized egg, and then you're going to be all creeped out. But, oh, okay. So here, let's see. Okay, so there you go. So if you look in there, you can see right on top, and this one actually has a little blood in it, so everyone's going to freak out. That little white dot right there means it's fertilized. Means that I can put that in my incubator, and I should, in 21 days, after the first 18 days, it has to be at 45% humidity and rock around every hour, and then after that, I put it in my hatcher for 3 days at 65% humidity. That will turn into a chicken. That's what that means.
But
So,
you don't know that when you put the eggs in the incubator.
of course not,
Yeah.
because you can't tell,
Part of
because
the
they're,
surprise.
that's right. So that's what that means. But of course, when you go to Safeway and you get an egg, they won't have those because they come from hatchery or from big productions where they have only laying hens and no roosters, and they're all, in great big production places where they don't get, they may get outside, they may free range, they may do that sort of stuff, but they're not introduced to roosters 90% of the time. Of course, you can get your eggs from farmers, and they are free range and they are organic. Even an organic egg will not be a fertilized egg.
Do you know if they're going to be boys or girls?
Okay, so my best guess is girls, except for, I need to see your bums. See, with the tails, I think are boys.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. So see, this one, oh no, this one's not. Matthew said no. So this is the one that was seizing. But look at it, it's like perfectly great now. Look at it running away.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah. Right, aren't
So
you?
all you did was give them...
So yeah, what happened
egg
is no egg yolk.
Oh.
The egg yolk. So what happened is, yeah, it wouldn't, that one, it wouldn't stop having a seizure. It's just got poop on its bum. Ever since about day 2 or day 3, it just, about every minute and a half or so, it would make like a yawning motion, and then it would have a seizure. And I don't know, it seemed like it had something going on in its inner ear. And I've never experienced that before. I didn't know what to do. I thought it was hopeless for it, to be honest. And then somebody on the lovely internet said, feed it egg yolk. And so I started to feed it egg yolk about every couple hours. And within the day, it cured itself. Like, you'd never know. She is perfectly fine and normal and eating and jumping and flying and trying to get out of the box. And I don't know how that happened, except that, of course, chicks are created from yolk, so it would make sense that that would be what it would.
All the vitamins that they
exactly.
need.
So I actually mixed up another yolk. Don't do that. I mixed up another yolk in with some more chick starter and fed it to all of them, and I've started to do that now. I don't know why I wouldn't do that for everybody.
So just raw?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. See. So these are all Brahmas. These Brahmas I actually hatched. I ordered online to build my flock. I actually ordered I ordered 18 eggs. They sent 26 eggs in hopes of getting more lemon pile Brahmas, and not one is a lemon pile Brahma.
But there is this one silver color that is very interesting.
I know, it's pretty sweet. And same as this other gray looking one too. This one's a pretty cute one. So we'll see what I end up getting once they've all kind of had their true colors come in. They're all pretty cute. But in order to get a lemon pile Brahma, you have to breed, I think they're called blue buff is what the typical name is for them. And you only have a 25% chance of actually getting a lemon pile Brahma. So to get none is pretty peculiar, but I didn't get any, so love what you get.
And the special feed for the chicks is just the starter.
It's just the starter. Yeah. That's what I give them. Yeah, I don't mess around.
Fine.
Yeah, this one is a very fine one. It's almost a powder, but they really like it. It's a little bit messy. I've just added shavings to their box here in the last day. They're a really messy little group, but there's 10 of them in the box. So I'm hoping to put them outside. It's just been so cold in the evenings and in the nighttime still. I'm just not quite ready to do that yet. These guys didn't hatch until they're 2 weeks old today. So probably about another week or so for sure. And I'll put them outside. They need to be a little more feathered. they still have a lot of down, and so